What is up, guys? This is Vegas and welcome to Do I Think episode 6. I've just gone through my videos and realized the last time I uploaded one of these was August the 7th, 2013, which is well over a year ago. So that's obviously a bit of a gap, but without further ado, let's get straight into the questions. Do I think voting matters? Okay, so what triggered this question is that I follow someone called Russell Brand. Now, he's pretty darn famous and he's pretty much a household name in the UK. I mean, if you don't know who he is, you've at least heard his name. So, he has a YouTube channel called Russell Brand and he has a show called The Truths. Now, The Truths is an abbreviation, I believe, of True News, in which he basically gets newspapers, gets news stories and analyzes them and tells us what they're actually meaning, what they actually think. He's very anti-establishment, left-wing, and I think I like that to an extent because I'm pretty left-wing myself. I agree with his views on business, I agree with his views on how to treat each other, distributed wealth, all that other sort of stuff. But there is one thing that he says which I don't really see logical or helpful. Now, he does explain it, and well, he gives an okay explanation. Now, what he says is that we shouldn't vote, and that voting does not matter. The problem I have with this is that it contradicts some of the stuff that Russell Brand says. Like, he goes on about how he needs to work within the system to fight the system, because we're all within the system, that sort of thing. But saying that we shouldn't vote because it's not gonna change the system? I don't know. But the problem I see with this, mainly, is that you're allowing the Conservative government and all of these governments which you oppose to get in, instead of, you know, convincing your subscriber base to vote for someone like the Liberal Democrats or the Green Party, or another one. So, I mean, if you're so against national healthcare being privatised, why would you not convince your fans and the people that watch you, or even run yourself, why would you not convince them to vote for a government that aims to not privatise the NHS? It's really weird, and it's hard to explain his views. I'm sure it's much more than what I'm putting it right now, but he just doesn't explain his point enough for me to be able to take it and be like, yeah, I understand that. I mean, his idea is that it's not going to make a difference, the guy with the most money wins or whatever. But, I mean, if you did convince a large amount of people, for example, your 1 million subscribers, to go and vote for the Green Party, then that would make a substantial difference to the government, and it will help with rights and help with the economy and all that other stuff which you want to push forward. So, do I think that voting matters? Yes, I do. I think that if you sit there and say, I'm not going to vote because it's not going to make a difference, well, I think you might be as much of a problem as the people who vote for the Labour Party because they don't think that the Lib Dems are going to get in if they vote for them. Like, they think that they're going to waste their vote. And that is a big fucking problem. People thinking that, oh, I shouldn't vote this because no one else is going to vote it. The reason no one else is going to vote it is because they think that no one else is going to vote it as well. So it's kind of a bit... it's a bit of a weird situation, and it's a bit of a fallacy logically. So, yeah. So I think that voting does matter. Now, when it comes to the system of voting, I'm very critical of that. I do not agree with first past the post, which is the system of winner takes all. So, let's say that Lib Dems get 20% of the vote. Let's say that UKIP get 20% of the vote. Let's say Labour get 20% of the vote. But the Conservative Party, if I'm doing my math properly, gets 40% of the vote. Now, I'm pretty sure you can see the problem already. Because Conservative would get into government because they have the majority. Though, they don't really have the majority. That's 60% of the population who voted otherwise. From, of course, Conservative. So 40% of people are having their voice heard, whereas 60% are throwing their votes away. So, it's a fucking problem. I think Australia has a system called the alternative vote, where you vote for 3 parties, and if one party drops out, then your vote goes on to the second choice, and that looks like a fucking fantastic system, if I'm honest with you. So we should move over to that, but I doubt we're going to do it anytime soon. But yeah, I think that voting matters, but the system of voting is flawed. But it doesn't mean don't vote, because you're not going to make a difference otherwise, unless you're planning a violent revolution. Then, you know, go for it. Next question. Do I think you should be free to offend anyone? Now, contrary to my liberal views, I am not a fucking social justice warrior. Far from it. So, my view on this subject is yes, you bloody well should. Because what does someone find offensive? I mean, anyone can find something offensive, and just because a large majority of people find something offensive in some part of the world, does not mean that we have to fucking pander towards it. And I think you know what I'm referring to, the whole Charlie Hebdo situation. It was so sad. 12 people died because people got fucking offended. Shit, man. I'm not going to go too far into whether Islam is a problem, but I do believe there are some bad ideas, but that's beside the question. The question was, do I think people should be free to offend anyone? And my answer was yes, because anyone can find something offensive, and if we start silencing people, we end up turning fascist. We have rules in our country against hate speech, but I also disagree with that. I think that you should be allowed to say what you want, and whether it offends someone or not, you just gotta push it to the side, just shrug it off, and if it does offend you, just leave a response. Just say, oh, I disagree with this, and mock them if it goes for it. For example, Charlie Hebdo, they create pictures of Muhammad, you know, mocking him and stuff like that, criticizing. They did criticize everything. Then what you've got to do is you've got to come up with an artistic way to criticize them. Free speech with limits is not fucking free speech. So yeah, I feel like you should be free to offend anyone, and if you want to leave me an offensive comment, go ahead. You have that right. Next question. Do I think Gamergate is justified? Such a controversial one. So, what is my answer to this one? I'll just go straight away and say it, then explain. My answer to this is yes. I do think Gamergate is justified in every way, shape, and form. Now, originally, Gamergate started off as a consumer revolt against game reviewers having relationships with game developers and then reviewing their game and not disclosing that information. But for some reason, it managed to get turned into a feminism argument by the opposition. Have no clue how this came around. I assume that Anita Sarkeesian came into it and started stirring shit up because that is what she is, a professional fucking shit stirrer, and she gets paid for it. And I just think this whole situation is fucked. It was originally a consumer revolt against people having relationships with game developers and the people they were reviewing products from. It wasn't this sort of, oh, gamers are sexist, gamers are dead bullshit that they had out there. It was people trying to stand up for what they believed was right in the gaming industry and didn't want their journalism to be fucked over because, as you know, game reviews drive sales. And if you're being lied to by Kotaku, Polygon, that's not fucking okay. And no one should think that's okay. And the fact that they've scapegoated an issue to push this issue to the side is fucking horrendous. So, I think Gamergate is completely justified, and the opposition twisted it around to make gamers look sexist, racist, and all of these other sort of things. Of course, this was fueled by the social justice warriors of Tumblr and all these other places. And God, this makes me so angry. Because I'm a gamer, I enjoy them, and I don't sit there fucking patronizing women. I don't sit there trying to offend women. I don't even think of fucking gender while I'm playing video games. I just think of what ways I can have fun. Seriously, it's complete fucking bullshit. And the feminist arguments are so first world problem-y. My opinion on feminism, of course, is feminism where it's needed. The whole idea of women get paid less is not true, because if it was, then you report that to the fucking police because there are laws against that. And if there aren't laws against that, then, well, protest. But I am 100% sure that people get paid the same. The thing is that they just have different positions and they have different work schedules. That's it. Men aren't getting paid more than women. We have a specific wage for a specific reason. So, yeah, that's my opinion on Gamergate. I think that the whole feminism twist to it is fucking stupid, and I think that the people who defend the journalists who are sleeping with game developers, for example, Zoe Quinn, are ruining the game industry. So yeah, that was heated. If you didn't agree with me then, well, let me know. I don't mind. I hope you can still watch my videos because my opinions and stuff will come into my videos, but you shouldn't feel alienated if you do not agree with me because I am pretty left-wing, but you can still like my personality if that's still the case. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been episode 6 of Do I Think? I think it's episode 6. Yes, it is. And yeah, this is Vegas, checking out.